Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another night of NGS action. Tonight we are in Division A West. My name is Isaacs, and I am bringing you a matchup tonight between Mnaval and Better Than Bots. Both of these teams looking to go at it here tonight. Gonna have a pretty spicy matchup here. Looking at the standings real quick, getting into this, we are in week 9 right now. That means we only have 1 week left of NGS action before we get to the playoff stage. Mnaval currently is sitting in the number 5 seed. Better Than Bots are sitting in the number 7 seed. So both teams are looking to get into that number 4 seed. Remember, Division A West is a West Division. It's a double round robin. That means only the top 4 teams are going to make it into the playoffs. That's how they decided to do the A West Division, and the other divisions that do the double round robin during the season. So both of these teams looking to get bumped up into that number 4. Better Than Bots, they have a pretty large hill to climb to get up there. They have 4 matches remaining, so they're going to need some dominations and going to need to start off one here tonight. Mnaval in a little better spot. They're currently sitting with 14 points right now. The number 3 and 4 team currently have 16 points. So a domination tonight would actually bump them up to that number 3 spot that they're looking to get into. So both teams have their work cut out. We'll see how this series plays out. Let's get you guys over to the map screen so you can see where we're going to be going tonight. So Mnaval won the coin toss and elected, Mnaval called it, but Better Than Bots won the coin toss. They elected to go with first pick here, meaning Mnaval got to choose the map. They also started us off on the map bans, banning out Alteric Pass and Cursed Hollow. Better Than Bots responded by banning out Dragonshire and Infernal Shrines, and so Mnaval is going to take us tonight to Volskaya Foundry as our first map, which is kind of fun. I haven't actually gotten the chance to cast a Volskaya Foundry match in a long time. It seems to be falling out of favor in the map rotation just because of how late the map typically goes. Volskaya Foundry usually known as one of those maps that isn't over very quickly. Usually both teams will get their level 20s online. Both teams will be fighting over that third protector. Usually you don't see the game end between a protector phase. Usually the protector is the win condition on this map. Like I said, usually. And so most teams wait to get that third protector is the one that usually gets the win condition going, and that third protector, or sometimes the fourth, and that third protector is usually picked up and fought right around the time that teams are level 19, 20-ish. So that's typically how we see Volskaya work out. Then again, some teams can bring out some really crazy compositions, but yeah, it's the way that this map has kind of worked its way out. The meta has evolved onto a map like Volskaya. Looking at Jacosula, is that how you say the name? Jacosula? Looks like I wanted to say Joshua and then I wanted to say Jacob, but I think it's Jacosula. Pointing out that Volskaya is indeed not in CCL anymore, removed from CCL. It's like I said, it's a map that's slowly, I noticed over the course of the last couple seasons, starting to fall more and more out of the favorite map pools, kind of like a Braxis, where Braxis used to be a lot of fun to see, and then it became just a very snowball-y, steamroll-y kind of map, usually over by sub 10 minutes. Once one team gets their foot on the gas is continuing to be pressed there, and a game can end very quickly. Volskaya is like the antithesis to that. A team can put their foot on the gas, but it seems like the game always stalls out to level 20s. Like, there's no ending the game sooner than that. So, that's where we're going to head first. But looking at the maps that remain, we talked about Braxis. Braxis is still in the pool. And then we got some really fun kind of maps. You know, the typical maps that I see picked higher in the rotations are banned out here. So we got maps like Tomb of the Spider Queen, Garden of Terror, which are both, I don't see typically played as much, but still a lot of fun to cast. Usually we see a lot more team fighting on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Garden of Terror is a very macro-heavy map. But then we got some other maps like Towers of Doom and Battlefield of Eternity, 2 very large maps where you kind of have to play the map condition to win the game. You don't really force the lane phase too much on those maps, except for Towers of Doom. You can make the argument in the bot lane. But I'm just stalling while we get readies from all of these teams. I'm ready for a pretty epic matchup tonight between these two teams. Hoping it goes all the way to a game 3, although that wouldn't fit into the plan that either of these two teams have, because both of these teams really, really want that domination victory to help them get to that number 4 spot for playoff potential here. So let's see. We got readies coming out from both sides. I'm getting a bit of a countdown, and here we go. Getting into game number 1. Mnaval going to be on the left side. Better Than Bots on that red side, and Better Than Bots will be the ones that will come out with the first ban. Looking at a map like Volskaya, all those champions that do good focusing around a zone area for a fight are going to be prioritized. So Diva, Mei, Gazlo, he's kind of doing like this roller coaster thing where he was really hot, then he really not, then he was hot again, then he was not again. And so we'll see where Gazlo kind of plays out in this series. But typically he's not played as much as he once was. Mephisto getting the first ban, another champion that excels when there's an extended fight over an objective. Mephisto can pump out lots of damage. Lucio getting banned as well, becoming very, very popular with that high 5 ability. Going to be able to prevent a lot of crowd control with that. And then also the sound barrier potential and the ability to get his team just kind of all around the map, pick up all those objectives really quickly. Hogger getting banned out, another champion does good on points, especially on a map like Volskaya where he can angle himself around to ping pong around all 3 points to stay on that objective and just crash into people. And then Sonya getting the last ban. Sonya kind of has snuck up to like this top almost S tier champion currently in the meta, being very popularized by a lot of teams and heavily focused as a first ban, first pick priority. But we see Cassia coming out, and I see this is interesting to me because we are in Division A, we're in the higher divisions now. So typically I've been casting a lot recently. I casted a lot of Division A like 3 or 4 weeks ago. A lot of these I've casted Mnaval a couple times. Cassia was highly prioritized, and then I went back, I started casting some Division D, Division E, and like Cassia was just left available and not picked, not banned, just left available. Same with Chromie. So I mean, this saying could be said about Chromie as well. It's being picked up, prioritized by Mnaval here. Both those champions just not heavily picked down in those DE divisions, but then all of a sudden I come back to Division A, and like the first game I'm back in Division A, Cassia and Chromie both picked up. Both are very strong champions in the right hands, can do a lot with team fight pressure. Chromie getting those sands down. Cassia has a lot of burst damage. Johanna having to be picked up to get rid of that synergistic ability with the Cassia, not going to allow the Cassia to have Johanna on her own team for the double blind potential, but Mei can provide those blinds as well. And we talked about how Mei does a fantastic job on those objectives. Deathwing being picked up here as well. So looking for some sort of tank shred potential, looking for a potential Greymane, a Malthael, or a Tychus coming out from the side of Mnaval here, since that Deathwing was picked up so early. Really needs some tank shredding potential to come out on the side of Mnaval to deal with both the Mei and the Deathwing. Looking at Tychus, but Greymane can also get the job done. Fits well into the composition that they're kind of pulling out so far. Just has to be aware of the blinds coming out from the Mei. Ana getting banned out here. Didn't want to see the boosted Cassia is what I'm guessing we were going to see, or a potential mage being picked up here as well. Ana also has fantastic healing output. And Stukov actually getting the ban here as well. So 2 healer bans focused in the later stages. So I'm curious to see if Mnaval is going to pick up some sort of percent damage here to counteract that early Deathwing pick. I'm wondering why they picked the Deathwing so early. Maybe Megan 420 just is really comfortable on the Deathwing and is comfortable going into, because they didn't ban any percent damage healers except the Mephisto. But Anduin going out with that light bomb potential with the falling sword on Johanna, and there's the Malthael pickup. So some percent damage coming out from the side of Mnaval. Maybe holding on to that last pick, seeing if they're going to go for like a triple bruiser comp and hyper carry Cassia on the side of Better Than Bots, or if they are going to go for the mage. If they do go for that triple bruiser, maybe they go the Tychus. If they go the mage, maybe they pick up somebody a little less shreddy on the side of Mnaval, can go with an easier pickup like a Raynor, like a Hanzo, even the Falstad that's not banned yet. They can go one of those champions and deal with it. But they do go for the Lunara and the Uther. So Uther going to be able to put down a lot of crowd control onto this Chromie Malthael and be able to give that Divine Shield to whatever target is going to be trying to focus out by the last rites of the Malthael. So Malthael's going to have to play that level 10 a little differently, may have to flex off the last rites there if Uther does to go for that Divine Shield. But this last pick coming in with the Uther pickup, I anticipate maybe a Tychus here or a Greymane instead of like the Rainer Falstaff. But ooh, Nazeebo, actually the one that is going to be picked up here. Okay, so super late game. This is spicy coming out of the side of Mnaval. I didn't expect the Nazeebo. He's not going to be able to provide a lot of early game damage, and they don't have necessarily the best early game already unless he goes heavily into that spider build, which he may actually do here. Just try to go for a lot of that single target damage instead of that late game frog AoE or that hybrid. Just pump out a moderate amount of damage throughout the course of the game. So this may be a Spider Nazeebo coming out here, able to put down a lot of single target damage onto like the Lunara and the Cassia, and the Spiders stick very easily there. So, but it wasn't what I was necessarily expecting. So yeah, it's gonna be quite interesting. I do like the fact that Better Than Bots have this composition, and it's really not countered this Uther, May, Deathwing. They got the lockdown that they're looking for. Lunara's gonna be able to put out a lot of damage from safety, and nobody has a hardcore engage except the Light Bomb Falling Sword if they get going on the side of Mnaval. Like that's their way of engaging into this comp. Otherwise, Lunara and Cassia are going to be able to poke safely from range and slowly whittle down the opposing team in these extended team fights. So let's see how these teams decide to play it out. I really like what Better Than Bots has drafted here, but I know Mnaval's ability to execute team fights very well, so I'm not counting them out by any shadow of the imagination. But let's get these teams introduced. On blue side, we got Silence TX on the Malthael. We got Shot Down 007 on that Johanna Seer, on that Nazeebo, I believe it is. The only Navi on the Anduin, and Realistic on the Chromie. Meanwhile, on the red side, we got Better Than Bots. We got Batman on the Uther. We got Empress Sienna on the Cassia. We got Crafty Treant sitting on the May. Evolatio on the Lunara. And down the bot lane, we got Megan 420 on that Deathwing. And it is going to actually be the Toads coming out of the Nazeebo. So not going for the Spiders, going to go for the Toads. So he is going to be able to put out a lot of scaled damage later into the game. The Deathwing, the May are going to take quite a bit of damage. Bankai coming in with the rate of 10. Welcome, everybody. We are just getting started here looking at these two drafts. I hope that series went well over there, Bankai. It looked like a lot of fun going in between the Devil's Rejects and Team Ionic. I didn't quite get to see who ended up winning that series, but based off the raid, I'm assuming that the Devil's Rejects did eventually come away with that 2-0. Looking at these talents real quick, Cassia going for that infinitely stacking Q build, going to be able to get those stacks going. Chromie landing a nice Sandblast onto Lunara, taking down half her health, but Chromie gonna go for the kind of safety, keep vision on the enemy team, gets a little more value to match the Lunara Wisp. And it would gonna be able to heal all this damage up pretty much in the early game, allow Nazeebo to get some of these stacks going. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Malthael going to be able to put down some pain onto this Deathwing. Deathwing really not going to be able to counteract the Malthael too heavily, so we'll keep an eye on that bot lane. All right, TDR taking it 2-0. Yeah, it's really interesting to see what's going to come down to. You know, I think Better Than Bots has the better drafts coming into this, so I definitely agree with Dr. Evil over here. I do agree that their draft is better, but like I said, I know Mnaval's ability to play around their drafts and team fight very well, so we'll see. And I know their offlaner has a pretty good Malthael, so we'll see how they're able to play this one out. If this Cassia can get going and you know, the Lunara and Cassia are able to just free poke forever due to the fact that there's really no heavy engage until level 10 coming out of the side of Mnaval, I do think that they're going to have a really good late game potential. Fours coming online for both teams. Nazeebo going to go get that Voodoo, big Voodoo, going to get the increased health and mana bonuses at that level 4 talent, so going to make sure that he's got plenty of mana and a little bit more survivability due to this Uther. Going to be able to come in, get some stuns, lock down with the May crowd control that she's going to be able to use with her initiation. But Deathwing getting a little bit of soak here in the bot lane. Malthael going to rotate down, make sure he picks it up. Malthael looks like he's trying to do a little bit of double soaking here, letting his team get a little extra camp pressure going on. And one camp picked up by both teams. Now siege camps are picked up. Chromie's having no problem clearing this out in the top lane. Jason actually coming in with another raid as well. Thank you very much and welcome everybody coming in from Jason. As mentioned, we are just getting this series underway. We are in Division A West tonight. Matchup between Mnaval and Better Than Bots. Two teams that are both looking to get a domination here, trying to keep their playoff hopes alive in Division A West. Since we're getting down to those final weeks, so both these teams going to bring out all of the compositions that they want to make sure they can secure that win and get themselves a couple more points. But we are now around this first objective phase. Mnaval's going to be the ones to start us off here. Deathwing just kind of walking across, making his entrance stage bottom, and just walks around to go get some love from the health potion. Gonna get back over here, and it looks like Mnaval gonna get the early channel. Mnaval, again, gonna be able to clear this out very quickly in the bot lane, so that's gonna be able to grow that experience. He's gonna be able to rotate up pretty quickly, and he's also gonna be able to bully Deathwing here in the bot lane. So Deathwing's gotta be very, very careful. The rest of the side of Better Than Bots electing to go get the support camp here in the top lane. Get some sort of item lead for their team, but we got the side of Mnaval scouting that out. We saw the Chromie rotate up, scouted out, unfortunately didn't get here fast enough. Support picked up by the side of Better Than Bots. Johanna looking like she wants to pick some sort of fight. Nazebo throwing down the frogs, getting some bleeds going down. Uther getting about down to half health so far. Gonna have to get himself healed up there. Unfortunately, Uther doesn't have the most healing output, but he will be able to get himself topped off here shortly. But the rest of Mnaval gonna go for that second item, trying to get these items back onto an even footing here, get another turret picked up before they commit to getting this objective. Meanwhile, we got Uther and Lunara trying to do the same on the other side. Turret dropped by the side of Mnaval. A second turret drop there, pushing everybody off with all these items, and we have nobody. Cassia is just soaking up the experience, so it looks like this side of Better Than Bots may be content at least giving this up for the time being. We'll see if they make a last push right around that 99%. Cassia is rotating down. I believe they're going to go for it, but they have a nice experience lead so far. If they can get a good fight here, this would be good. Support item drop. May looking for the engage, but knocks everybody away. Unfortunately, the turret gets an escort from the conveyor belt there. Cataclysm did miss from the Deathwing. Went in. Everybody was already backed off, so it didn't land on anybody. Root going down onto the May prevents any further engagement. Cassia pumping out a lot of damage. Johanna sitting so low and does go down. May popping the passive to get healed up. Everybody getting low on the side of Better Than Bots, but nobody except the Johanna falling on the side of Mnaval. She'll be able to get back up, and we will have another fight. No items available for either team now, and it looks like we got a nice half-level lead for Better Than Bots. Pretty good fight overall. It was pretty scrappy back and forth with the amount of it seemed like just their coordination wasn't quite there. You know, May not quite getting the knockback, knocking everyone away, which caused the Cataclysm to miss from the Deathwing, but they still found a way to stick with it, with the Cassia and Lunara putting out a lot of damage, and we're eventually able to get it. Deathwing is coming in, makes his landing, and now we've got a stun going out to Zebo and another stun. Two stuns on top of each other. Lunara committing with the leaping strike to the Mnaval, and then follows up on that Nazebo. 50 health is still alive. Bouncing balls are going to bounce. Sire sitting solo, and the ball connects. Nazebo goes down, and this first protector picked up by the side of Better Than Bots. A nice early gameplay coming out of the red team here, using their draft very well here, getting their 10s and immediately dropping them. We got the Bellowing Roar coming out of the Deathwing. We have the Leaping Strike as seen by Lunara. It is the D shield as expected from the Uther. May still holding on to her ultimate. Hasn't quite made the decision yet. We got the Slowing Sands coming out of the Chromie. 10s now coming online for the rest of Mnaval, and we'll see what ultimates they choose. Gargantuan coming out from the Nazebo. We got Blessed Shield and Light Bomb from the Anduin and Johanna, and we're waiting on that Mnaval. Ice Wall picked up by the May. Mnaval deciding if he wants to go for the last rites or if he's going to go another route, since D-Shield has been picked up by the Uther. Cassia setting up, looking like she wanted to take a camp here, backing off here at the last minute, but the side of Better Than Bots got what they needed. They got the health fountain up in that top lane. They're going to go set up for a second support camp pickup. And Mnaval still holding on to the ultimate, not quite sure where he wants to go yet. Decisions, and he does go with the last rites. So he picks the last rites, even though Uther has the D-Shield. That's going to make it a little challenging to get the stacks up if Uther is paying attention here. So we'll see how that plays out in some of these team fights here. But the experience lead, it's still about that half level. So even though Better Than Bots, Cassia getting a nice route here. Light Bomb being committed as well. Cassia taking a lot of damage, but Uther is here. He's got the D-Shield available, not popping it quite yet. Now pops the D-Shield, was a little worried. Cassia got a little bit too low. He wanted to hold it for the next fight. Eventually keeping the Cassie alive. She will get herself healed up, but that is a 90-second cooldown that we're waiting to come back online for the Uther. Everybody else gonna clear off these minions. This turret camp should be picked up, but Mnaval actually starting to have a little bit of a tough time against the Deathwing here in the bottom. The protect, oh, we do have a pause coming out from these teams. Looked like there was a little bit of a disconnect, so let me get you guys back over to the map screen. But looking at what's coming down here, I mean, better than bots. They're definitely better than bots. They are coming out pretty strong here in this game one. I like how they committed to getting all of the camps, committed to the support camp, drew everybody off the objective to delay the clock for just a little bit longer. It did get the support camp, and then use that item advantage to push onto that first objective. Even though they didn't have the best fight, they still found a way to keep it going, got the pick that they needed onto the Johanna, and then around the 10s, Cassia got that ball bouncing, and it just so happened to land on top of Nazeebo's head to get that second kill, allowing the team to get a better push with that first protector. So pretty strong showing coming out of better than bots here in the early game. We'll see if they can continue to snowball this into the mid game. We've got the connection back. Chromie had a little bit of connection issues, but she is back here, so we getting some readies from both these teams, and we should get back into this series no problem. Thank you guys so much for the double raid tonight. Absolutely appreciate it. A lot of fun. Anduin actually getting signed out here. The Ice Wall was used, that time strategy. And Chromie actually being engaged on by the Lunara. She pops the time stop on herself, but Lunara able to put down quite a bit of damage, gets the bleed. Chromie needs to go get a heal. She's running around trying to find something, and that's 2 more kills picked up by the side of better than bots. Nicely done. They are now up to 4 kills to 0 here, and playing this map fairly well. Deathwing is going to commit to this bot lane, but remember, as we talked about Volskaya, that map that just always goes to level 20, so it's never over for the team. That is on the back foot. They can find that fight in the late game and really cause a lot of macro damage with a one-team fight. So all we need from Mnaval is just some nice regroup, figure out what's going wrong. They do have the Nazeebo scaling himself up. He will get a lot stronger here, committing to this Toad build, especially in the late game, as long as the front line is trying to be that front line on the side of better than bots. The longer the fights go in the late game, the better it's going to be for this Nazeebo. We do see the Mnaval getting caught out here. Uther doesn't have the stun, already popped it, but the bouncing ball is going to commit to that kill. Cassie getting a nice pick here. Icewall being popped. Mei using the passive to heal herself up. Chromie putting down a lot of damage, but not quite enough. Mei just so tanky, able to get herself away from there with the Uther healing. Deathwing was rotating up, electing to go back down to the bot lane, but we now have almost a level and a half, almost a 2-level lead coming out for better than bots. They're doing a very good job rotating around, making sure Deathwing is getting up a lot of the soak in this bot lane. Gonna have to use Cataclysm to get away from the Nazeebo here. Nazeebo actually throwing the frogs backwards to get the remaining soak there. But Nazeebo now gonna get up to that 100 stack point, sub 10 minutes. So that is fairly good stacking coming out of the Nazeebo. Will continue to just scale himself back up. And once he gets to that level 20, he's gonna be putting out a lot of damage. Camp being picked up by the side of Mnaval. Going to get some siege pressure in this top lane, although the objective here is in the top lane, so the siege pressure usually not the most significant around this second objective. Using it anyway, going to be able to provide at least fort pressure here if they can siege with it with the Chromie. But we do see a rotation. Cassie actually going to get, didn't get caught out by the zombie walls. Uther actually counter-engaging. They're committing fully to this, and look at the burst damage coming out of Cassia. This is why I love Cassia so much, and I really wish I saw her down in those Division E's and Division D's. She can do so much damage. I mean, that was an insane amount of burst with the Uther there to just blow the Mnaval up. Mnaval had no chance of getting away from that one, and they're going to get rewarded with the turret camp. Meanwhile, the 4-man in the top lane trying to get any sort of pressure. Mei just hanging out on this objective like, sup, I dare you to come try and take it from me. Using the Ice Wall kind of a little bit early there to zone everybody off. Maybe she was afraid of a potential engage through the slowing sands, but is going to just give this one up. They got it to 99%. That's where they want it. Lunara going to get the camp here, heal herself up, and then they'll look to find that fight with their level 16s advantage here. So the side of Mnaval, they've got to be really careful not to give this fight over, not to lose too many people. They should probably just back off here. Lunara actually going to stay in the mid lane, not going to commit to getting to the top lane quite yet. Now she's rotating up, but yeah, they need to get S5 and just push everybody off and use the 16 to their advantage here. Lunara now coming back up here, gonna get ready for this fight. Lunara very far ahead, looking for the potential Chromie play. Deathwing jumping down in the backline. Unstoppable popped with the Iron Skin from the Johanna there. Deathwing using the Fire Breath to just zone everybody off. The objective is free to channel, and they're just using the zone, but Blessed Shield is popped. Cassie a little too far forward. D-Shield being utilized, so that Light Bomb is pretty much negated. Ice Wall used to just zone everybody off of the objective there, and Mnaval does go down to the Lunara, so big pickup by Better Than Bots. 7-0 now in kills. Deathwing a little low, but gonna somehow fit his gigantic body. No, he won't. Deathwing can't go in the Protector. That's silly. Everybody else gonna go into the Protector here, and we do see a root coming down onto the Mei. Protector gonna start heading to the bot lane. Lunara already making her way down there, picking up the fort in the mid lane and getting those minions as well. But Nazebo continuing to do, you know, we're on Nazebo watch right now, up to 136 stacks. Gonna continue to keep them growing here. Gonna look to get to level 20 and try to get those stacks doing what they do best at that level 20. Deathwing up in the top lane. Gonna continue to try to put siege pressure in the top lane, but they brought everybody on the side of Mnaval to this bot lane with the Protector. Bottom fort going down here, so that's 2 forts picked up by this Protector, and Deathwing's going to get the third. Ice Wall being utilized, gets the Nazebo, but the Frogs did come out there. The Protector just going to use that to disengage Cassia, or sorry, Lunara going to run away as well. Cassia sitting in the Protector in that driver's seat, and that is a triple fort second Protector coming out, and now the siege lane. Minion gonna try and get this mid fountain there. Gonna lose quite a bit of health, so it doesn't look like they're gonna be able to get it. Got the wall, and now the engage is on. The actual stun comes out of the Deathwing onto the Anduin. Anduin's a little far forward, but unfortunately Cassia is in the Protector, so she's not gonna be able to put that burst damage down that we're expected. And that is going to be the end of the second Protector, but a very successful second Protector coming out of Better Than Bots. Lunara a little overextended here, gets the double leaping strike and gets herself to safety. Evilado knowing he had both of those available and could just get himself all the way back to the rest of his team, and that is going to be a support camp picked up by Better Than Bots. The rest of Mnaval trying to pick up their siege camp, get this experience, and now they're on that 16 talent tier. 16 to 18 is where we're at, and they need to find some way to get themselves back in this game before 20s come online for Better Than Bots. That comeback experience going to help them out massively. Mei kind of sitting, making sure. I doubt she was going to look for any potential big invade play. They're content just kind of playing passively and waiting for the 20s to come online and then look for the fight. So team just going to go around. We're going to see a lot of soaking here in this next phase coming out from Better Than Bots. Mnaval, they're going to look to find some sort of fight, but unfortunately, they just don't have the engage potential. If they can find a squishy target out, or maybe this Mei with the Blessed Shield here. Ice Wall being popped, Mei getting herself away, but she's still in range of the Johanna Blessed Shield, not quite. So Johanna holding onto that Blessed Shield, didn't want to pop it on the Mei and look for that potential pick there. With the last rites and Uther being nowhere near, they may have been able to get it. Now they find a Deathwing. Will they try and do it on the Deathwing with the Mnaval? Everybody's here. Deathwing pops a protect, but Uther not able to get in quite yet. Cataclysm being popped. Deathwing gets himself away, and the rest of Mnaval get away. But now Mnaval's in a really rough spot. Mei does not connect with the knockback, but Lunara is there to make sure that that kill is secured. Johanna now has to get herself away with the Iron Skin. Chromie doing what she can to zone everybody off with the Dragon Strike, and that will be another pickup by the side of Better Than Bots. 8-0, and Mei is not done. She's looking for more. She finds the Anduin. She knocks him back. Anduin's cut off from the rest of his team. Uther is here. Cassia, unfortunately, is not. Light Bomb being popped is going to get a 2-man stun. Lunara is here to follow up some damage. Uses the Leaping Strike. That is another pickup on the Anduin, and Cassia jumping all the way back on this Chromie. Another good pickup. We almost got the kill on Lunara, getting away with about 200 health there. The Gargantuan doing a lot of damage, but unfortunately was not able to pick up the kill. So Better Than Bots, 9 kills to 0. 20 is online, and they can put a lot of pressure on some sort of siege here in the mid or top lane, depending on where their hearts lead them to go. And it looks like the pressure is going to be in that mid lane, with Mei already committing to pushing down those 2 towers. The health fountain will fall, and this is double support items with a turret by the side of Better Than Bots. I said it always goes to the third Protector, but we may not see the third Protector pick up. Deathwing very low. Last rites is popped. No D-Shield for the big dragon, and that will be a 1-for-1 trade. Mnaval finally getting 1 stack to that last rites. Looking for 4 more here, and that is a 1-for-1 trade. A little bit of comeback experience on the side of Mnaval, slowly chipping away at that experience lead. Still not in range for their 18s, but Johanna looking for another play here underneath the tower. Ice Wall being popped, finds 2. Nazebo and Johanna both frozen, and the rest of the team just not able to get the wall down in time to follow up on that. Mnaval gonna sit here in the top lane, try to get the soak going back in their team's favor. Meanwhile, the rest of the side of Better Than Bots looking like they're trying to steal the support camps away. And here we go. We got the engage going in. Uther getting the stun onto the Johanna. The Gargantuan is pop bouncing balls onto the backline. Cassio trying to commit to this. Nazebo drops the siege turret, excuse me, and continues to put some of this siege on here. May committing all the way under the tower, maybe a little deep with the amount of mana she had, and unfortunately not able to find any kills. So the time is being delayed, and Mnaval is continuing to get this soak, trying to get his team back to 20. I thought Better Than Bots would get this protector a little bit sooner, but they're committing items and resources to some of these fights, and maybe potentially just waiting for Deathwing to come back alive before they started the channel here. But that means Mnaval are going to have their 20s online to make a potential play over this bottom objective. Nazebo will be at level 20. What is sitting, Nazebo watch at 200 stacks right now. Gonna look to be able to carry here in the late game. Mnaval gonna have a little weight removed from his shoulders. Chromie gonna continue to chip away from a safe distance here. And here we go. 20's about to come online, but Icewall being popped early, so no Icewall for this fight. Deathwing coming down. They're just trying to delay. 20's coming online. Nazebo now in big Nazebo mode here. We've got the no one can stop death coming out from Mnaval, so he's not going to commit to that shortened last rites. He's going to just get that extra revive, which I do like in the late game. He's not heavy on the last right stacks now, so there's no real point trying to get 4 more here. He's just going to commit. Engage Blessed Shield onto 3 members here. Lunara is the focus. She gets herself away with the Leaping Strike. Light Bomb does land onto the mid, but we got Mnaval and Uther scrapping in the middle of those zombie walls, but we do see the Chromie end up going down. Lunara coming up huge in this team fight right now. D-Shield popped onto the Uther. Nazebo getting zoned off by the Cassie and is going to get picked up here. It's just too much crowd control and too much damage coming out of this Cassia, and Lunara able to get away safely, and that is going to be a full 5-man team wipe. Will Cassia survive? She does. Gets the love tap from the Uther, gets herself healed up, but that is a 5-for-0 kill for the side of Better Than Bots. Huge fight there coming out from the side of Better Than Bots. 15-1, and what a statement coming out from Better Than Bots, wanting to keep their, I said it was a very slim chance at playoffs, but this is a very, very good start for that long, long road that they could have to possibly sneaking into that number 4 seed. That is a bottom keep down, and that will be the protector finishing off the core here. There's no way Mnaval can do this on his own. So game 1 gonna go over to Better Than Bots. GG's coming out from both games, and I like all the comments and agreed with everything that was said. This was a very good draft coming out of the side of Better Than Bots. I think they had a much better draft phase. I would have liked to seen a little more tank shred instead of the Nazebo coming out from the side of Mnaval, but ultimately we do see that Better Than Bots get the better draft and execute it very well around that early game, getting a well-deserved win here. Looking at some of these stats, Deathwing, the lone one to fall there. Lunara putting out 60k, Cassia not too far behind with the 57,000 damage. Nazebo started pumping out damage in that late game. Looking at that 65,000 damage, the number 1 damage coming out of this game, but unfortunately he only had 1 fight to do that in, and that fight did not necessarily go. They got the 3-man Blessed Shield with the Johanna. She got the ones that she wanted, but unfortunately the rest of the damage was just too far back and were getting zoned off that they couldn't get in to commit to that fight on Lunara. Lunara used the Leaping Strike to get herself to safety, and then it was just, like I said, the longer those fights went, it felt like Lunara and Cassie were just going to do so much more damage than the Chromie Nazebo. But I mean, the healing coming out into it, putting out 51,000 to Uther's 42. I consider that pretty good for Uther, considering Uther's not necessarily known for his healing, more for the support and utility that he can provide there. And Lunara actually getting the most soak there. Cassia coming in second. Deathwing in third for the side of Better Than Bots. So pretty good stuff. Pretty good showing in this game 1 by the side of Better Than Bots. Let's see if Mnaval can find a way to rebound here. I'm going to get that win over to the side of Better Than Bots so they get that reflected on their screen. Let's look at some of these talents real quick here. Johanna going with, I would consider this a pretty typical Johanna build, not committing to the extended blind duration. At level 7, these are both like very hybrid-y champions. Both have auto attacks, but both do more damage through their spells than necessarily their auto attacks. Not like a Tychus or a Greymane, Rainer kind of deal, but getting a lot of their damage utility from some of their spells. So Cassia going with that passive build, going to be able to put out a lot more damage with that passive there, and using that infinite Q stacks as well. Looking at Deathwing going for kind of interesting build. I might want to actually look at this build a little closer because I haven't seen Draconic Might at level 1, and then Dragon's Ire at level 4. So going for a little bit more damage. I saw the Firestorm at 7. Interesting. Not necessarily going for the Molten Flames stacking there and getting a little bit more utility. But then again, it was a smaller map like Volskaya, so he could navigate around the map a little bit better, and ultimately just being able to pump out enough damage to get the team, get the rest of the team to be able to finish him off. Uther committing heavily to the Holy Light. I love it. Absolutely love the build coming out from the Uther there. Chromie coming out with the standard build with the Q, going heavily into the Q, but using the Time Walker Pursuit at level 1, getting the extra spell power at level 1, but not going to get that third shadow to be able to throw around the extra sand bolt there, but help with the piercing sand. So not as much burst damage necessarily coming out of the Chromie, but more consistent damage coming out of the Chromie, and not relying heavily. If you go for that Q stack, you got to make sure that you get that finished as early as possible. Make Chromies as useful as possible. So, but not going for the stasis at 13 allowed the Cassia and the Uther, if they could get on the backline, the May, if she could get on the backline. I think Cassia was able to get on her a couple times. Chromie ended up dying, 3 times in total. So wasn't able to peel for herself as easily, going for that extra 20% movement speed and health regeneration after she throws that Q around. So a little more sustained in long team fights, but no oh crap button. But yeah, pretty good stuff. I already got the invite to game number 2, so let me get you guys over to the map, and I can see who picked this map and where we're going. We're going to Battlefield of Eternity for game 2, which I am super stoked about because I love casting Battlefield of Eternity for this. It's one of my favorite maps. The draft of Battlefield of Eternity, the draft phase is so fun. And we saw an excellent draft phase coming out from the side of Better Than Bots here in game number 1. So I'm really excited to see what's coming in game number 2 for these two teams for the draft phase. But it looks like the side of Mnaval are going to get first pick. Electing to take, they got the option of first pick or map pick since they lost map number 1. They go for first pick, so that means Better Than Bots are the ones that elected to send us over to Battlefield of Eternity here. Harkin, you definitely would have wanted that cleanse if Chromie had gone loop instead of sands. Oh, 100%. 100%, but the cleanse... Batman at 7 said cleanse. I don't need Snow Seeker. Oh, okay. Now I see it. Talking about the Uther there. Okay, yeah, I didn't see the earlier comment by Dr. Evil. Yeah, Uther not going cleanse at level 7. Doesn't need to cleanse. But yeah, a lot of comments similar to that. Not the most CC coming out. Megan, thank you for the follow, but aren't you playing right now? You could give me the follow at the end. Focus on the game, but that was an excellent game number 1. Like the Deathwing play, so thank you for the follow. Definitely appreciate it. Hope you enjoy a lot of Heroes of the Storm action because we got a pretty fun week coming up, and then we are right around the corner from playoffs where it is going to be absolutely insane. Looking forward to a lot of fun playoff matchups coming out here. Got some readies coming out from both sides. I got to make sure that I throw in my ready. They're double checking on me to make sure I'm still a functioning human being. That I am, and I am ready for this game number 2. Both of these teams are ready for this game number 2, and here we go, getting ourselves into the draft phase on Battlefield of Eternity. So now we get to see how distracted in Twitch chat. Now we get to see how these two teams get to play. If they change their bans completely, like is Mephisto going to be banned out here? Are we going to ban for more race champions? Which I used to get a little more priority in the ban. I haven't seen the race champions being prioritized as heavily these days. Typically seeing like the Vala, the Greymane, the ones getting the bans out here. Not seeing that so much in the later half of this season for sure. Going more for just the standard heavy meta bans and sticking to what teams like. Oh my gosh, Sienna is now coming in and giving the follow too. I've got 2 members of Better Than Bots both dropping follows in between games. Guys, focus on your game. You can give them to me at the end of the game, but thank you for the follow. Absolutely appreciate it. And dropping it in chat that she's also that they're also playing, but has to drop a follow. I love it. I love when teams just come in here. They're like, we're in between games. Let me drop a couple more follows on you real quick there. I'm trying to remember what team it was. I think it was Wood League Express, like in between their game, came in and just started gifting out subs to everybody in between games. And I was like, dude, you're in a game. What are you doing? It was absolutely hilarious. But May now getting the respect ban from the side of Mnaval. Don't want to see May coming out here again. And Hogger. So same bans coming out for Better Than Bots, but the May getting banned out instead of, who did they ban in game number 1 instead of the May? I'm trying to remember. It'll come back to me. But finally getting a little bit of respect, and I think well-deserved. The May can just have so much playmaking potential, and on a map like Battlefield of Eternity, where she can land a lot of those slowing fields and stuns around the Immortal Suns, it's absolutely critical. But we'll see where the first pick priority goes. It does go to the Vala. It does go to the race Vala here. Love it. So Vala, we talked about the race potential coming out of these 2 teams, and how teams aren't necessarily focused heavily on the race, but Vala, one of the best racers in the game. Oh, it was Sonya getting banned out in game 1, so Sonya not going to come in here, or going to come out here in game number 2, but Vala being picked up and Sonya. So Sonya going to make that presence in the top lane, be an absolute bully in that off lane. Vala going to be able to be that excellent race, and Lunara picked up again. Lunara going to give excellent vision to look for any rotation shenanigans coming out of these 2 teams here. A lot of places to hide on a big map like Battlefield of Eternity. Lunara going to give their team that extra advantage with that Wisp to be able to scout out the vision and see which side the enemy team is coming from. Now that they got the Vala and we do see the Lunara Sonya, I'm wondering if they're going to go back to the Johanna, commit to the Johanna again, or go for something that can crowd control with the Rain of Vengeance. Lieutenant Morales being picked up and Artanis. I was also curious, they didn't pick up their tank and they're holding onto their tank, and I'm wondering if they're holding onto their tank. Look at this. They got a Vala, Lieutenant Morales, and an Artanis. Could we possibly, I'm going to hold on to it for this next ban, but could we possibly see a potential Juice Pirates composition? I was going to mention with the Vala, I'm wondering if they're going to go Tyrael. Tyrael would fit excellently into that composition. So I got my fingers and my toes crossed that we could see something coming out in that regards. Uther getting banned out here, another champion that does very well into the Lunara and be able to peel for the Sonya there. So Artanis, yeah, like it's set up beautifully. It's set up well for Battlefield Eternity for the race on the side of Mnaval, going heavily in there, but it also sets up Juice Pirates very well. They really only need like Tyrael and Greymane, and they've got it made. If they wanted to run a super spicy, sneaky comp there. Rick's coming in with the follow. Thank you so much, Rick's564, for the follow. Enjoy yourself on this channel. We got lots of hot action coming up over the next few weeks, and you will get notified every time I go live trying to cast some of these things. Li Ming coming out here with a main tank blaze to boot. Li Ming gonna be able to put out a lot of burst damage for a mage onto this Immortal, but the blaze being picked up, going to be able to put down that bunker. And now I'm wondering, are we going to see a Greymane Tyrael, or are they going to go on to something more mainstream, a little more meta, more consistent, and not commit heavily to this Juice Pirates build? Sylvanas being picked up. Oh, if it was the Sylvanas and Tyrael, that would have been awesome. It still could absolutely be. They could use... I don't think it is. I think they flexed away from like fully committing to a sneaky Juice Pirates composition here. Sylvanas definitely there to turn off the tower, so they could still potentially do it, but I think this is definitely going to be a boosted Vala, just hyper carry. Sylvanas is looking to, and Mal'Ganis just trying to commit to peeling for his team. Brightwing going to come in as that last one. Excellent counter to Mal'Ganis. Mal'Ganis is going to be able to polymorph him anytime he tries to get himself into the back line of the side of Better Than Bots. So I like how the side of Better Than Bots have drafted again. I got a big question mark on that main tank Blaze. I'm never a big fan of main tank Blaze. And it doesn't do necessarily that well into the Mal'Ganis and Vala. Vala could just vault herself away when she hears that Blaze is charging up his dive. So they don't have the best lockdown for the Vala yet, but they have shown in game one that they are here to play, so I never want to count them out. I do like the draft coming out of Mnaval. Much better here in this game number 2. Bad Soda, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Enjoy yourself on this channel. Hope you like lots of HOTS action, because we got a lot coming down the line for you. Looking at these two teams, I got to give it over to Mnaval. I just want to see a game number 3. Better Than Bots, I would love for them to prove me wrong and take this 2-0 sweep, but I am really excited about this Lieutenant Morales. Here we go. Game number 2 getting underway. I forgot to click on this. We got on the blue side, Mnaval. We got Realistic on the Vala. The only Navi sitting on that Lieutenant Morales. Silence X on the Artanis. Shut down 007 on the Mal'Ganis. And we got Sire sitting on that Sylvanas. Meanwhile, on the red side, coming in with the 1-0 lead, we got Better Than Bots. We got Empress Senia on that Sonya. We've got Evil Audio throwing down the flare on Lunara, and Batman throwing the flare on Bright. We got Megan 420 on the Li Ming, and we've got Blaze coming in, or Crafty Treant coming in on Blaze, and we got Megan on a different role. She was Deathwing in game 1. I'm saying she because the name's Megan, but on game 1, going to the Li Ming, the assassin player here in game number 2. Harkins throwing out, picking Mal'Ganis into that much CC seems sus. Yes, blue is definitely sus right now. Blaze landing a 2-man just propulsion. Pretty good start, but the healing that comes out of the only Navi is going to be absolutely huge onto this Vala. This Vala is going nowhere fast, and we do see a lot of scrapping going on here in the bot lane. Artanis going to go for that bully build. Not necessarily, they know they've got the advantage with the Hungering Arrow on the Vala, so Artanis doesn't have to commit to the burn either. He can commit to trying to get stacked up and get a little bit more lead in some of these fights here. And Sylvanas putting down some respectable damage onto the Lunara. Yeah, I'm curious about the Mal'Ganis pick. I'm gonna if they come back and get the reverse sweep, I'm curious why they picked the Mal'Ganis in the that'll definitely be a question we'll ask them. But going back to the siege, it's pretty scrappy here in the bot lane. Artanis gonna go up against the Sonya, and I like that Artanis did go that, because the one thing he could do against the Sonya, he's gonna get bullied around by the Sonya quite a bit, but he will be able to keep his stacks up, having that melee presence. But here we go. We got a dancing Centaur in the top lane, not committing to come down and try and help out the Sonya, but instead gonna get the early siege camp, going for that sneaky camp in the top lane. It's got to be called out. They haven't seen Lunara in so long here in the bot lane. They're wondering where that deer went. Meanwhile, Sonya now getting the healing off of that whirlwind, getting a little bit better matchup there against the Artanis there. But we do see the sleep going down on to the Blaze. I mean, I got questions for both these teams. Main tank Blaze, I gotta figure out why they decided to go that one as well. A lot of interesting tank choices coming out from both teams here. Lunara actually getting fairly low, has to back again to go finish off that camp in the top lane, but the rest of the team has done a good job keeping Mnaval from getting that bottom siege camp. Vala and Sylvanas just committing to trying to get as much seed, but Lunara now dancing her way into the screen, entering stage right, and they have a 4v4 over this next objective in the bot lane here. Li Ming going to be able to poke people out until that camp is pretty much ready for the taking, and we say no delay here. Better Than Bots just fully committing. Mal'Ganis getting a beautiful 4-man knockup, putting people to sleep here. The fight is on. Vala gotten in a little too deep here, so the rest of Better Than Bots can poke her off, and that means that this camp being successfully picked up by Better Than Bots, getting themselves out to a nice early game yet again. And now rotating over to pick up this camp. Meanwhile, the side of Mnaval going to pick up their camp as well. Both teams just a titch late on being able to pick up their camp. The bots the Immortals are already spawned. Sonya going to start the early burn here, trying to get their team off to an early lead with Blaze to Blaze not the best burner, but Sonya going to be able to get make up for that. The rest of the team coming over, and we've got a full-on race by both teams, and we know which team likes that. That is going to be full steam ahead for the side of Mnaval, although they are getting, they're a little late to the party, made up room a little bit, ended up losing the halftime show, but both teams committing to clearing out. Actually, the side of Better Than Bots clearing out the bot lane. Sonya getting a push to the top lane, but a little overextended here. Brightwing teleporting herself in and gets herself in. Sonya healed up, double sleep going down, but it doesn't matter. They are safe, and this Immortal getting burned by Better Than Bots. No burn by the side of Mnaval. Now they've got to go and defend. They're here, but the Immortal is very, very low. Li Ming is able to just get it down and poke it with those Qs, and that is a first Immortal being picked up by the side of Better Than Bots, and they're not done. Jet propulsion landing onto the Savannah. She uses Banshee to get herself to safety there. Lunara trying to see if she could get that kill secured, but thinks better of it and backs herself off. Sonya immediately committing to the soak in the bot lane there, and we've got a half shield Immortal in the top lane. Vala and Sylvanas going to be able to clear this off, no problem at all, as long as no stuns do come down here. And Blaze is going to try and find that connected jet propulsion onto one of these stuns coming out of the Immortal. He should get another one here any second. And Blaze not electing to pull the trigger there. The rest of the team gonna get the health fountain. That is pretty much everything that they wanted, but a three-man sleep coming out. Jet propulsion lands onto the Lieutenant Morales, who's way out in front, and now everybody has to back up, meaning more siege coming out of this Immortal. They keep falling down to about an eighth of the health left. Blaze getting respectfully poked down, has to back himself up, but that's a pretty good start for the side of Better Than Bots, knowing that they don't have the best burn, and they are more what I would consider the defenders in these Immortal fights, coming out as the aggressors, winning the halftime show, and then winning very much so on that second half. And just well done by that team. Sonya Brightwing apparently bought enough time committing to that 5-man gank in the top lane that the rest of the Lunara and Li Ming were like, cool, we'll just go burn down your Immortal, and got themselves nicely, handsomely rewarded for that. But we see another fight. Blaze walks on, a little low to be walking straight up there, committing to this, gets the jet propulsion on the Vala, but loses his life in the process, and they can't find a kill. Lieutenant Morales able to heal everybody up. Vala now going in and getting 2 kills for her own team. Maybe a little bit of an ambitious goal coming out of Better Than Bots. It's the first bad decision I think I've seen them make in all of these games so far. Like, they've been playing pretty clutch through the early game, but they were just a little too low. Blaze was already down to a quarter health and just walked on. Now Li Ming getting slept out in front, but Brightwing going to be able to get the heal off there, so they should be able to defend the rest of this. Blaze and Lunara walking themselves back, but good pickup by Mnaval, recognizing they could get that fight. That fight was in their advantage, and were able to commit to getting those 2 kills. They're getting themselves back into this game, a nice level, half a level lead there, right around when these 10s are going to be coming online. They just need to find some sort of experience somewhere. And now we're seeing, actually, this is going to Better Than Bots. They could just go sneeze on this fort, and that's going to give them that passive experience and pressure in the top lane. So Mnaval backing themselves off a little too far. They got to find some sort of value somewhere else on the map. Looks like this bottom is where they're going to find it at. Nope, Lieutenant Morales not having any support, has to walk herself back up. So Better Than Bots, I think, came a little bit ahead in this play. Little bit of hesitancy coming out of the entire side of Mnaval. Sonya jumping in. 10s are not quite online, so this is a good level 9 fight, but it is in a favorable position for Mnaval, fighting around their own defender. But the rest of Better Than Bots, they don't care. They're burning down this Immortal and are like, hey, we're going to get as much as we can. 10's now online. We've got the Rain of Vengeance coming online. The Stim Pack coming out from the Lieutenant Morales. We got the Purifier Beam coming out from the Artanis. We got the Wailing Arrow from the Sylvanas. And we see a full engage onto this Blazer with the 10's coming online. Brightwing's going to try and save it. Elganis doesn't get the channel off there. That's a huge pickup. 10's now online for the side of Better Than Bots. And now they are on the aggression. Sonya with the leap, just waiting patiently, finds the Lieutenant Morales, gets the stun. That is one dead. Never mind. Sorry, I thought she was dead. I was already moving away to see what follow-up was, but the Lunara is actually falling there, and Lieutenant Morales now does fall Purifier Beam onto the Blazer. Tannis able to keep himself alive. I have no idea how Lieutenant Morales was able to stay alive and all that. I thought she was just long gone, and the caster got juked out there by the Lieutenant Morales. Anyway, this is still a very good fight. I believe it ended up being a 3-for-1 in favor of Better Than Bots. So coming out strong again over the second Immortal phase. Mal'Ganis was not able to get that Dark conversion off. He tried to channel it. You could see it start to go off, but he died before it was finished, and that makes that ultimate really hard to play around. Li Ming sitting very low on the mana, but Lunara is going to come in, able to finish off this Immortal. And so that is going to be second Immortal, about at the same health as it was with the first one. Picked up Blaze committing to this fight in the Mal'Ganis. He's going to try and get the Dark conversion again, but a beautifully timed Polymorph coming out of this Brightwing there, and that is going to secure the kill onto Mal'Ganis. This Immortal going to the bot lane. Sonya going heavily into this top lane, and we are going to see a big push coming out of the side of Better Than Bots. Playing this early game very well yet again, only really having that one blunder up in the top lane siege camp. Outside of that, playing a very consistent game 1 and game 2. We do see, look at this, Sonya going in. She's got the leap available. She's looking for the fight, gets the leap on the Lieutenant Morales. The distortion beam coming out of the Li Ming, combustion by the Blaze, but Lieutenant Morales can't heal through all of that. Pick up by Better Than Bots. The Immortal continuing to siege. Vala able to get herself away barely. The Purifier being dropped on the Li Ming. She should just be able to get herself away from that, no problem at all. And so that is going to be the end of that. The Immortal pushing in with that last bit of health, gets a couple more shots onto this wall, but the wall will fall with the 2 towers. Blaze going to get himself to safety. Mal'Ganis looking for some sort of re-engage there. Artanis going to land the swap onto Blaze. They've got the Vala there for the follow-up damage. Unfortunately, she's into this heavy Q build, so that means that she will not be able to pump out the damage outside of the initial burst. So Artanis will fall down. Lunara and Li Ming able to put out a lot of damage. Mana bars are very low for both the assassins on Better Than Bots. This is pretty good coming out from them. They're happy with that kill, and they will go back, get some camps, and keep this experience going in their favor. Sonya doing an excellent job going up, getting the soak in the top lane. And now we can talk about rest of these ultimates coming on. We already went through the 10s coming out from the side of Mnaval. Let's get the 10s online for Better Than Bots. We saw a few of them coming out. Combustion by the Blaze, leap from the Sonya, blink heal from the Brightwing there, leaping strike from the Lunara, and we've got that disintegrate coming out from the Li Ming. And she does commit to the Class Ganon build. Holy moly, she is going all out on the Li Ming here. She's got to be very careful with the positioning. If she gets swapped, she is dead. There's no way she's getting away from that. But there's not necessarily the hardest engage coming out outside of the swap from Mnaval, so she can play a little bit safer with that Glass Cannon. It's a safer pick than it typically would be. No directly hard CC. Mal'Ganis has a lot of interrupts for his CC from the Brightwing Polymorph there, so it's really going to be either Li Ming gets herself out of position or Artanis lands a swap. So Li Ming going to be able to put out a lot of damage. And now they're aggressively stealing this camp away as well. Sonya landing a beautiful leap onto the Sylvanas, having the Lunara sit right there, and was able to just get that leaping strike down, put down a ton of damage onto that Sylvanas. Lieutenant Morales couldn't heal through all of that. Another pick by the side of Better Than Bots. Game 1 and Game 2, they're just finding their way to get pick after pick after pick, and it's working out for them. You gotta love it. Give the credit where credit is due. We'll see if the Mal'Ganis can do something here over this next fight, but it's not going to be until the halftime show is over. Artanis has a lot to deal with in the top lane. I'm surprised nobody else is helping him out there. He's like, guys, I need some help clearing all this stuff off. The rest of the team trying to maybe set up some sort of delay. The Immortal in a pretty good position for them. They wished it was here, but this is still an okay position. That Sonya, look at Sonya's doing here in the bot lane. Just getting a lot of pressure coming in, but we have the full-on engage. Unfortunately, Mal'Ganis can't get himself in. Sylvanas jumping all the way in. Blaze is like, I see you. I'm coming back. Gets the combustion out, but Lieutenant Morales going to heal through all of that. We've got the backline Mal'Ganis trying to zone off 3. Sonya zoning off 2. The leap goes down. Sonya is going to find the kill onto the Sylvanas, turn around and find the Lieutenant Morales as well. Mal'Ganis trying to put everybody to sleep, but Li Ming not landing it. The Tarkar conversion goes off onto the Blaze, but doesn't matter. The healing coming out, and that is going to be a Mal'Ganis falling as well. We haven't seen the Purifier being popped anywhere in this fight yet, and that is a 4-man team wipe. Well, not a team wipe. Artanis never really got to that fight, but that is a 4-man kill coming out for the side of Better Than Bots. Holy guacamole, that was absolutely fantastic. Nexus Gaming Series coming in, rating with a party of 84. Holy cow, welcome everybody. You are in game number 2 of a Division A West series between Mnaval and Better Than Bots. Better Than Bots playing excellently through these first 2 games, had a really good draft in game number 1. I thought they had a weaker draft in game number 2, except for the Mal'Ganis pick. I'm not entirely sure why the Mal'Ganis pick came out, but it did, and now we are seeing that the better than bots are absolutely playing very well. Sonya getting a 3-man leap here. Lunara is absolutely shredding that Vala. This is a huge play coming out of better than bots. They are just pushing with a fully shielded Immortal. This is going to be a very difficult defense here. A beautiful jet propulsion onto the Sylvanas. That combustion, look at the damage coming out, and Sylvanas falls. Mal'Ganis doing everything he can to put everyone asleep, but it may be too little too late. Purifier being dropped onto the Blaze. Mal'Ganis lands a Dark Conversion onto the Lunara. May actually get the kill here. Brightwing not able to get it in time, but the Immortal is shredding this keep. Mal'Ganis just zoning everybody off, falls as well, and the core is starting to go down. It is down to 78, 70. It is still a shielded Immortal. There is no way this defense, and this is going to be better than bots. Getting a second win here, going with the domination, coming in with the upset. 2-0 GG's coming out from all of these teams. Absolutely insane game coming out from better than bots. You love to see it. Holy cow. Yeah, Heatstroke Dad dropping the follow and then redeeming the take a drink, man. Absolutely, I need one. There was no way that last fight was ever breaking in any action. Let me get that drink real fast while we look at some of these juicy stats. Alrighty, drink verified. Drink is down. Thank you so much for that. Looking at some of these stats coming out, I mean, I loved the first 3 picks coming out of the side of Mnaval. They drafted Lieutenant Morales Vala, picking the Artanis. I'm like, okay, I could see the draft coming out. And then I was like, are they going to juice Pirates this? Are they going to get more of like a team fight comp that they need? Some sort of big front line to allow Vala just to hyper carry. They went with the Sylvanas, and I'm like, ooh, now we're really committed to the juice Pirates. And then they end with Mal'Ganis. I was curious to see if they were going to go for like a Tyrael or a Garrosh, something big and beefy in the front line that could easily peel and also find the engages. Mal'Ganis, you know, I didn't see the value in it. He's so susceptible to crowd control, and they didn't have the healer picked on the side of better than bots. Brightwing, just an easy pickup, and Mal'Ganis really couldn't get the engages. Every time he tried to get the dark conversion off, Polymorph just hit W and said, you are now a little sheep. No more dark conversion for you. Excellently timed by Batman there, doing a fantastic job of just being on Mal'Ganis duty. Meanwhile, Sonya jumping in and doing so much damage. That was absolutely impressive to see. Basically 1v2ing the Vala and Lieutenant Morales in one of those fights. So let me message our team captain coming out from Better Than Bots, see if we can get an interview. I thought we were potentially going to get a game number 3 here, but this Better Than Bots team coming out huge in this series. Love to see it here. Let me look up their captain real quick. That is going to be Crafty Treant. Hear me typing away. I'm going to go find a lobby to sit in real quick and wait for our champions to come in here. Crafty Treant gonna be that. Oh, good. He's the Blaze. I'm curious why we got the Blaze there and Blaze tank in game number 2. So I gotta remember to ask that. If there's any questions you guys want answered, feel free to drop it in chat. Also, I'll take this moment to appreciate all the raids. Thank you all so much for all the raids coming in tonight. Absolutely awesome. Dr. Evil dropping the follow. Skitmo dropping the follow. Heatstroke Dad dropping the follow. Thank you all so much. Lots of NGS action on this channel. If you enjoyed yourself and you want to see more, make sure you drop that follow. We got a lot of games coming up through the rest of this series, and we've got playoffs right around the corner. You will catch me casting all sorts of games here down the line, getting ready for this playoff push. But here we go. We've got Crafty Treant. Congratulations, Crafty Treant. How is the team feeling right now?
We're feeling great. Like, we've really been struggling. Like, all of our games this season, it's been like we're competitive in all of them. It's so close in all of them, but we've never just been able to get the win. And I feel like today we finally limited our mistakes and just put all our effort into focusing on our plan, and we executed our plan, and it worked.
Yeah, you broke that ceiling for sure, and now like the floodgates are open. I mean, game one, looking at the standings coming in, looked like you guys there is a very slim chance that you can make the playoffs. You need a lot of domination victories to get there. This is the first of I think 3 or 4 that you guys need, but you got it. And coming in, it's always fun to see a number 7 seed come in up against a number 5 seed who's got playoff hopes on the line and just put on a show. I mean, game number one, let's just go talk about that one real quick.
Yeah.
Coming into the draft phase, what was the team's strategy? I mean, they picked the map, they sent you to Volskaya, so they wanted to go to that map. What were you guys thinking going into a map like Volskaya Foundry, knowing it's going to go late?
So we've always had kind of a similar plan with Full Sky, even though we haven't been playing it much this season. Um, we we wanted to do some things. I mean, we kind of just got through draft like normally, get a tank, get a bruiser, and then we worked with what we had. We did, all the normal things, kept rotating, um, sent our sent Lunar to the camps. And then once we finally started to get a little bit of pressure built up from just all the XP we're getting, we started getting some kills and it just kind of started to snowball and we kept our lead and we played really well, I think.
Yeah, I mean, going back to that first objective fight, run us through that one. You guys see that, you're a little behind, go for the support camp, and then the call is made, okay, let's just rotate down with the Cassius, see what we can do here. The May misses the engage just a little bit, knocking everybody back, so the Cataclysm didn't quite land where you wanted it to. It looked like you were trying to set up the Nay knock back into the Cataclysm, so everything kind of
Oh,
misses there.
yeah, I don't know.
And
I
so it's like, okay, maybe they're just going to back off and concede this, but you guys kept the foot on the gas and ended up finding the pick onto the Johanna. Who made that call? And I mean, that's ultimately where the game started going towards better than bots.
Yeah, it's kind of funny actually because when we engaged there, we were like, I'm not sure we have this, but we just kept the pressure up, and I actually called Johanna like right away, and then like 2 seconds later, I called a different target, but the damage stuck to Johanna. I guess they knew they could get that kill, and eventually we finished them off, and without their tank, they just kind of started to scatter, and I think, like you said, after we got that first pick, we just never really let them come back.
Yeah, you get that first pick, and then Cassia finds the magic bouncing ball over the wall and finds the
Oh yeah.
last bounce onto the Nazebo to get that second kill. And then you guys elect to just go play this very macro intense. Was the team ever worried about the possibility of getting to that late game with a Nazebo being on the other side? And was that a factor going into that late game?
It is like one of the things that we mentioned first. I was just like that Nziba is going to be stacking, so we need to be careful. Um, it's not something ultimately that affected our early game plan, but we just knew that we needed to be aware of his stacking and try to limit it as much as possible.
Yeah, and I mean it's tough on a map like Volskaya where everything is so compact and he can just go
Mhm.
around and get those sacks. I think he had like over 200 by the time he got to 20, so he looked like he was in a prime position to do some pain. But that last fight, they come down. Johanna finds the 3-man blessed shield onto, I believe it was you, Lunara, and Uther. I think it was. And then somehow Better Than Bots finds a way to just turn that one around again. Walk us through the end of that game on that last team fight.
So that last team fight was extremely hectic for me because I was locked down and I was really focused on uh my like corner of the map than everyone else. Uh, but the damage knew what they were doing. They were getting their targets. Eventually, they're all whittled down, and we started finishing all of them off, and it kind of worked out. Well, it obviously did work out. Yeah,
It was
I
just
I
insane.
don't know. Yeah, it just we yeah.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
can't
And
tell you very well. I'm not
it
talking.
was one of those just like in the moment kind of deals where it's like, man, my team just they carried. They did so well, and you love to see
Yeah,
that when
yeah,
it looked like Mnaval was very aggressive, wanting to pick these fights. And you guys you bent, but you didn't break, and then you found a way to get back into these fights and take them. So
yeah.
well played, game one. Game two, we go to Battlefield of Eternity. You guys picked the map.
Yeah.
and you see the Vala first pick coming out from the side of Mnaval. What's going through the team's mind at that point?
Honestly, we were extremely excited because we thought that they were going to take Sonya first pick, because they banned it the game before and they had played it before. So once we were able to get the Sonya, we were like, okay, this is going to be a good game for us. Like, it was going to be rough if they took the Sonya, I feel like. Not it. I mean, it just would have been maybe a closer game, that second game.
Yeah, but then we go through the rest of the draft. They show the Lieutenant Morales and the Artanis for the first three picks. Was there ever a worry that they would try and do some sneaky stuff with the Lieutenant Morales, Artanis, Vala, or were you guys like, nah, they're gonna go to more of a just a standard composition here?
It was briefly mentioned that they could juice pirates, but if they try to juice pirates on a two-lane map, I feel like that's a very risky move, and
Yeah, it's
I
it's
think they would be punished pretty hard if they tried to do that.
it's
So
definitely tough, especially they'd have to. Once I saw the Sylvanas come out, I'm like, okay, if they can get the first immortal with the Sylvanas, maybe they could juice
yeah.
pirates a keep and then get a lot of pressure that way. But they did flex off it, going with the Mal'Ganis, which I thought was an interesting pickup. But I have to ask, I'm not going to question it. I just got to ask, Blaze main tank, is that something? Is that a better than bots special, or is that just we wanted to use that in response to something they were throwing out?
I am a level 106 Blaze. It is something that I have done 1,000 times.
It was a pure comfort pick. I want to carry, and it's my favorite champion. I mean,
Yeah.
you could see the jet propulsions just landing time and time again. I thought it was going to be a little challenging to land them, considering Vala has, Vault and Artanis can just
Yeah.
dash away. So I was like, ooh, he may have a little bit of a challenging time landing some of these jet propulsions, but it didn't seem to phase you at all. You were hitting them time and again, setting up the Lunara and Li Ming for some juicy combos.
Well, I'm happy to hear that because I know my team might be laughing right now because I was complaining the whole time. Like, man, I never miss these jet propulsions because I was missing more often than I usually do.
Well, gosh, if that was missing more than you usually do, I hate to see what you usually do. I'd hate to be on the
Well,
receiving end of what you
maybe it
usually
was,
do.
maybe it wasn't. I couldn't. Maybe I was just too focused on my errors.
I mean, it really felt like better than bots. The only big error I saw you guys make all game was that top camp invade you did when you Blaze was at like quarter health and Li Ming was out of
Yeah.
mana, and I was like, "Ooh, they're going into a 4v fight trying to get this." I thought it was a little aggressive. End up losing two members there, but that was really the only fumble. Other than that, better than bots had their foot on the gas the whole series.
That's actually the exact time when I was like, man, I'm messing up right now. That fight right there was like, I could have done so much better in that fight, but I'm not sure we would have won it anyways. But yeah, I don't know. I'm extremely proud of my team right now. We executed perfectly, I feel like.
Yeah, it was definitely on tonight. So with that, I'm got to ask you, who do you think the team MVP was for the series tonight?
Um, Gosh, I always have no idea. I'm gonna give it to Batman, probably.
Okay.
Just being able to be the support we needed. That Uther was something we hadn't really practiced. He pulled it out and he just executed really well. And then, he- like, he was just filling in all the gaps, I guess, doing
Yeah,
everything we needed him
I,
to.
I was laughing. A lot of people in chat were giving him the some slack for not going cleanse at 7 on the Uther. And somebody came to his
Oh,
defense is
really?
like, they didn't have any CC on their team, so he's just like, I don't need no cleanse. My team can handle it.
Yeah.
But awesome. Before we go, let me open up the floor to you. Any shout outs you'd like to make to Twitch chat or to your fans? The floor is yours.
Um, well, first I'll shout out the team. So Alto is one of our damages. Megan is our damage. Elena is usually our off lane. Batman and Aces, who's not playing today. Shout out our other team that we support a lot, which is Strange Team Comp. They're currently in one of the Division B divisions. Um, and I'd also like to shout out the other team. We wouldn't have a league without the other teams, so I'm extremely happy that we got the chance to play in this league and that they're a part of it. And thanks for casting.
Oh, absolutely. It's my pleasure. Love it. All right, Crafty. It's Crafty Trent?
Yes, it's Trent.
Okay, I kept calling it Trient, and then I was like looking at it, and I was like, it's definitely Trent. I don't know why kept calling it Trient.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
But Crafty Trent, thank you
It,
so much for the interview. Congratulations on your 2-0 domination victory, getting it at the right time. Hopefully, we can see more of these to come in your remaining 3 matches here in season 11. But best of luck
thank,
down the stretch for the playoffs here.
thank you.
Absolutely, take care.
Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Crafty Trent, not Trient, as I was calling him during the game. My apologies there. Coming in for the interview, going for the 2-0 victory. I got to give it to them. I did that whole interview, and I didn't even give them their win. Look at that. I'm not paying attention. I was so excited to get that interview. I didn't give them their 2 points. But that is going to be it for me tonight. Let me take you guys quickly through what I got coming forward for the rest of this week. This week's going to be an absolute fun one. So this was Division A West tonight, and this was a pretty fun matchup between these teams. Tomorrow night it's weird. I thought it was gonna be at 7:30, but then one of the captains messaged me. It's like, it's at 7 o'clock. Are you okay with that? And I was like, ooh, I might not be home from work. They may postpone it till 7:30, so it should be around 7:30. But 7:30 tomorrow night. I'm in Division E West tomorrow night, and I've got a very good matchup between the number 1 seed Deep Fried Ming Balls, who I casted last week, going up against a very, very like second half resounding Wood League Express. They've been doing excellently in the second half of this series. That first matchup they had went 2-0 for Deep Fried Ming Balls. I anticipate a 3-game set tomorrow night. It's going to be very, very close between these two teams. So that will be a lot of fun. Tuesday, I am in my own series, so I will not be casting on Tuesday night. I may do a point of view stream for my own matchup on Tuesday night, but Hello Kitty has a matchup, so I have to be there. Wednesday night, I do not do casting. Thursday night, I've got a series match coming up as well, and I will throw that up on my Twitch. I haven't finalized what time it's going to be at yet. And then Friday, I should have one as well. But that is going to be it for me tonight. Thank you all so much for coming out. Thank you for all of the follows, the redeeming of the Take a Drink Mans. I put that up because I absolutely need them when I am going through a lot of these team fights. Do appreciate it. If you enjoyed yourself tonight and want to watch some more HOTS action, we've got plenty coming up this week. Drop the follow. I will send you a notification when I go live so you can come over, hang out, watch some great matches going on, and get yourself ready to park it here for some playoff action in another week or so. For tonight, that is it. I'm going to go ahead and send us over. There's one more match going on in NGS, so let me make sure I get that. It's going to be Celadorn throwing up a Division C West matchup between Bloodbath and Beyond and 210 Bleckman Street. So make sure you drop some love for Celadorn on his channel. As far as tonight, that is it for me. Have a fantastic night, everybody. I got to make sure I spell this right. Celadorn. Celadorn. Yes, I got that right. That is it for me tonight. Thank you all so much for coming out. Do appreciate it. Enjoy your evening, and I will see you back here tomorrow night for some Division E action. Take care, everybody.